Hello everyone, my name is AP the Weird One, and we are back with episode 6 of Once Upon a Wish's Death. This is the halfway point for the season. It's a bit of slow reflecting moment, which is what Meg obviously needed. So we begin the episode. Meg is crackling devilishly. She has acquired 10 tears of joy and 40 tears of joy and 10 other things, and she's acting like a devil, or a scam artist of sorts, we could say. She's very full of herself, and the animals are complaining, and so is Faust. See, our dear little Meg has become full of herself. She's helped the people of Lapis around town. She's used her magic, but she has become too full of herself. She's not collecting these tears of joy in the proper way, you could say. She's acquired 40 and 10 other things super easily, as she was saying. Like, no problem, I'm gonna get to 1,000 like nobody's business. Faust sees that Meg needs to be humbled a little bit and says, You can't use magic for a while, basically. Forbidden using magic. And Meg's kind of not happy about it because that's how she's been getting her tears of joy. And so, because of this, she decides to go pout to her friend Fine. It's like, well, shouldn't you, all these tears of joy, shouldn't you be able to, cherish them? Shouldn't you remember every single person? I'm like, babe, I got 1,000. How am I supposed to remember it all? I'm like, I got a deadline here. It's like, yeah, I can understand, but is the way that you're collecting the right way. And I definitely brought on to something Meg. She finally leaves to go hang out with some school friends, and Meg kind of just, in a bit of self-reflecting thought. She's taking the words of both Faust and finds to think. She's like, there are a couple of incidences, a woman with a baby and a man who just got out of college and who's been having some trouble at work. She remembers helping them, but she doesn't remember what she did for them. She kind of needed to be humbled. She needed to have a reflection of our works. Yes, she's been doing good things to the people, but she isn't cherishing every single moment that does it. She isn't getting to know the person, looking at their face. She's just like, oh, there's a person that needs help. I'm going to use my magic and fix them, no problem. Piece of cake. And she kind of needed a moment to realize that. She'll run across the woman who, with the baby, and she realizes that, the reason that she helped him is because she had a watch that her husband really cherished, and watchmaker couldn't fix it, and Meg's like, well, I think the spirit kind of left it. Their spirits are very nerve-wracking, so she's like, told to come back. She didn't. So, and she asked this woman, like, if, about her kind of a situation of a person has kind of been full of themselves, kind of doing things not for the right reason, essentially. Is there a chance to how this person go on? She kind of tells them, like, if you truly reflect on what you've done and realize that what you've done wrong, you can kind of start over and make right. So that's what happens. That's because she kind of reflects on the moment. She goes around she goes around town. People, it's like, hey, thank you for all the things. And she eventually stumbles across this old woman who needs to get up the stairs. And she realizes, I could use magic to help her, but you know what? I'm forbidden to use magic. I'm going to put her on my back, and I'm going to do it the old hard way. I'm a 17-year-old girl. I've got the muscles. Let's do this. And yeah, there were moments where she was going to give up, but she doesn't through. She didn't do it without a reward or anything. She's like, all right. She had her moment of humility. It was a good day for the moment. But when the kind old lady, she tells her a nickname of sorts, the Witch of Lapis. And it doesn't quite sit through with her until a little bit later when she meets up with the guy who just got off college, the guy who's at work. He delivers her some some delicious goodies, some Danish, saying, thanks for rescuing me. Thanks for telling me to believe in myself and say that I am, I'm worth who I am, and that at the end of the day, I'm the only person who can rely on myself, and I shouldn't care kind of what others have to say, along those lines. It's like, and he wanted to, he was going to stop by, but then he saw her and gave it to her. And when he said, "Witch of Lapis," it kind of finally hit her. She's finally got the nickname, the moniker that the previous witches have been Sophia, the other hold on, the other witch, who is it? Who is the other? Not showing up. Oh, Anori. This girl, the witch of Internal. Yeah, she's finally got she got her nickname, the moniker, the witch of Lapis. She's now somebody. She can raise that up high, something to be proud of. And then so even though she needed a day of humility to remember remember all the things that she's done, and realize that you shouldn't be using magic just to help everybody. When you use magic, you take time to learn that person and know who they are, so you can cherish their memories. The tears of joy that they gave you should also be something that you got for yourself. Like it should be just as meaningful as to you. So even if you fail, like, you can remember on all the good times. I've helped all these people. It doesn't matter. I set out a goal, and who cares I did fail. I made so many tears of joy for both the people and myself. And when Faust comes along, she's like, "Good for you." It's like, you've grown a little bit. I'll make you a nice stew. She was gonna tell Meg to do it, but he's like, "No, I'll do it for you." Although she did lack on her chores for the day because she was pouting and wasn't very happy. Which, I mean, in some ways you can sympathize with Meg, absolutely, but she needed to reflect on a moment and not be a con artist. So you need to take, yes, her life is on the line, but she needs to take every quest that she's done seriously. Kind of a good comparison is from Cultershaw, from the Tracker. Each episode, when he does something for somebody, even if if the amount it isn't very much, but it's something that's very important to that person, he cherishes the moment. Like, he does it out of the goodness of his heart. It shows that he is a good person. That it's not always about money. Like the one episode where he got the dog Bartley back for this kid. He's like, "Well, this money," he's like, "Sure." And at the end, it's like, "No, you do it to buy you something, Mom, something nice." You could, it's like that. Meg needs to become something like Cultershaw, where, yeah, you can do missions that obviously will get the pay, but you should try to do everything as possible to meet that person, talk to that person, get to know them, and learn to cherish that moment when it's something very important, like saving a life. Along those lines, it was a nice episode. But at the end of the episode, we got a bit of teaser. Someone has recognized the Witch of Lapis, and has come to rain on some joy. This is this girl named Eldora, who kind of screams like a witch of death or something, like not a pleasant person. Definitely someone who's going to maybe challenge Meg in a way. We'll see how that peters out. So yeah, look at it's not time for a challenge to the ruffle the feathers. Oh, Witch of Eldora, Witch of Calamity. So kind of witch of death. I wasn't meant to spoil myself, but I'm like, oh, okay, this is who we're meeting. And then she's the Witch of Calamity. So yeah, we're gonna be seeing a little bit of a challenge next week. Should be interesting. Anyway, I've rambled long enough, spouting about too much about humility. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys back for the Mobile Suit Gundam Gainax later on. Episode 5 should be interesting. Anyway, Have a nice day. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This, I'm still enjoying Once Upon a Witch's Death. That's very fun. Meg's a good character. We got some good people. We got some good people around. Anyway, see you guys next time.